Coming to you live from the City of Angels, Los Angeles, California, and all across the world, psychic, medium, and energetic healer Sheena Metal brings you Messages from Spirit.
Hi, and welcome to Messages from Spirit, only on PARAPOD TV. I'm your host, Sheena Metal. I'm a psychic medium. I'm an energetic healer, and I'm honored to be here with you every Wednesday at 2 o'clock Pacific time, only on PARAPOD TV. Here's what we do on the show every week. I'm a real psychic, and I talk to real people, just like you, real people, and they ask real questions, and then I work to get them real messages from Spirit. We have real conversations and hopefully provide to them the real answers they're looking for and some real healing. That's what we do every week on the show. If you'd like to be a guest, send me a text message, 818-437-0886. And if you're outside of the U.S., no problem, 1-818-437-0886 on WhatsApp. That's where I do all my international texting. Of course, my website, SheenaMetalSpiritual.com, and you can find me everywhere on social media, just at Sheena Metal, and that's Facebook and TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and X, formerly Twitter. Here's what I want to talk a little bit about. I try to talk about something a little bit at the beginning of every show. I cannot stress the importance of you taking responsibility for you. I think a lot of people, they kind of float through life. They're looking for somebody else to have all the answers for them. They're mostly thinking about themselves. A lot of people, maybe not most, a lot of people. And they are not thinking about how their actions affect others. Every action that you have affects everyone around you, because it's all energy and it's all vibration. Then those actions affect everyone around everyone you know. And ultimately, the energy of the whole, of the everything, is affected. That's why it's so important that each of us take responsibility for ourselves. All right? You have to take responsibility for you. Super important. It's just something to think about. What does it mean to take responsibility for you? What does it mean to own your actions? Well, if you have some kind of a contract with people, and we have a lot of spiritual contracts with people, it's super important that you honor those contracts. If you agree to get into a relationship of any kind with someone, then that's a two-way street. Maybe sometimes you give 50% and they give 50%. Maybe sometimes you're in a place where you can only give 20% and they give 80%. But then other times you give 80% and they give 20%. But so much of that is about being responsible for you. And it's funny how sometimes the people who will tell you everybody needs to be responsible for themselves will be the people that are not responsible for their own stuff. That basically means I'm responsible for me and you be responsible for me too. Sometimes because I'm not responsible for me. It's so important that I grew up in New England where you do what you say and you say what you do. And I think that is such a thing that sometimes is lacking in human beings. We're not following through with what we say. We're not doing what we say we're going to do. And we're not taking responsibility for what we're saying and doing. It's a little something to leave you with today, because I think it's so important that we remember the importance of standing by what we say we are going to do, especially if you want and expect other people in your life to stand by what they're saying they're going to do, then you have to do the same. And if we each just take responsibility for our own actions, then the world is so much easier. It runs so much smoother, you know? Such a beautiful thing. All right, that's a thought I'm leaving you with. I am leaving you with that message from Spirit for all of you. And now I'd like to get a message from Spirit for somebody in particular. So let's do a message from Spirit. Hi.
Hi.
Tell me your name and where you're from.
Deborah from Sierra Madre.
Beautiful. And Deborah, what's your question for me today, honey?
I have a relationship question.
Okay.
So my question is, where do I have to be to meet my next love of my life, and when?
You need to be completely in love with you. That's the first thing Spirit tells me. You need to get to the place in your life where you are digging your life and everything about it. And then you will draw that energy to you. Sometimes I always tell people, you know, when you're going through a really hard time, it's not a good idea to get involved with somebody, because sometimes when we're in crisis, we draw crisis to us. So now is the time, Spirit is saying, between now and like April, for you to really fall in love with yourself, have a fantastic relationship with you. And then right about when it starts to get warmer here in California, that's when a really great person is coming in that will reflect the energy that you're putting out. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. More than you know.
It's hard because we all go through times in our life where, you know, things are hard. And sometimes that's when we want a partner the most. We want somebody around to be with us the most. We want a primary person the most. But unfortunately, oftentimes that's when, because we're in crisis, we draw crisis to us, which means we either draw to us, Debbie, two things: either somebody who is also in crisis or somebody who feeds off of your crisis. So you'll attract either a narcissist or you'll attract another person that has a boatload of problems. Because that's the energy that's coming. So what you need to do is, when you're at a great place, then you draw in that great energy that matches yours. And then, you know, people have problems. We don't have a great day. That's all right. But you're with somebody who understands the give and the take. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay. You're very welcome, sweetheart. I'm sending you so much love. April-ish.
Thank you.
Take care. Take care,
Bye,
Debbie.
Sheena.
You bet. What a beautiful question. Starting it out with love, folks. I do love love. That is true. And today I love ginger ale because I got a little funky stomach today. So today I love love and I love ginger ale. Let's do another message from Spirit. Hi.
Hi, Sheena.
So
my name is
where are you from, sweetheart? I'm sorry?
No, my name is Cassie, and I'm from Milton, Wisconsin.
Hi, Cassie.
So my question today is more about my kids' health, because they seem to get chronic ear infections, and they will be back to back, both ears, all four of them at the same time. Is there anything that I can do to like help prevent this, or do I need to see a specialist, like an ENT surgeon or something, to get their ears taken care of so they're not miserable all the time?
Did you say it's your kids?
Yes.
Okay. You cut out there, and I'm like, is she talking about kids?
Of course.
Two things. It's a genetic thing with all of them. Did you have ears like that when you were young?
No, I only ever had one ear infection, but my husband had chronic ones as a kid.
Okay, so they come from his side of the family.
Okay. Yeah, he had tubes twice.
I'm sorry?
He had ear tubes twice.
Right. So this is what I'm showing. Two things. One is they have trouble with wax buildup, all of them. And the other thing is their ear canals are too small. I think if you take them to an EMT, you will find out that their ear canals have not matured to the point that they are supposed to. But the good news is they will. They're just slower. So this is something they will grow out of. How old is your oldest?
He's 6.
Yeah, I would say probably when they're maybe 10, 11, they will all grow out of it. But
Okay.
until then, I would definitely take them to an EMT and find kind of a chronic, like a regular routine maintenance, and also medicine for when the infections come, so that it's not such a big deal every time it happens.
Yeah, because I don't want to keep giving them antibiotics every time they get one. Like, that's just going to create some kind of immunity, and it's just eventually not going to work.
Right. Ask him if there's drops you can put in there to soften the wax.
Okay.
Because it is a waxy buildup from the wax. Everything's not able to get out the way that it should, because the channels are too small.
Okay. That
I'm
makes
not a
sense.
doctor, so definitely see a doctor, because I'm not one, but that's what I'm being shown.
And no, I understand it. I'm a surgical tech, so I know the anatomy a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah. Okay.
So what Spirit is showing me is like they should be like this, but they're like that.
Oh,
So,
okay. Yeah, definitely too narrow.
That's my very bad finger puppets, but yeah,
It works.
they're just too narrow, and it is something they will grow out of. But why expose them to all the antibiotics and all the pain now if you can just, and all the missing out on the good swimming and stuff, and the fun showers.
Yeah, swimming and school. They all love school, and having to take them out, they get really sad about that.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. All right, sweetie, sending you so much love.
Okay, thank you.
Take care. You bet. All right. Yeah, it's hard. I had bad ears as a kid too, and I also grew out of mine. So my mom didn't have Spirit to ask at the time, because she didn't really know that was a thing. But yeah, God, nothing is worse than an earache. I don't know what it is about an earache, but I think it's some of the worst. And toothaches, right? Way in the back. It's like that area, right? I mean, even if you push around that area, it's like super painful. There must be like a 15,000 nerves right there. So I'm going to say lots of prayers for those little ones, because earaches are no fun. I missed many a summer camp fun because I was home with a swimmer's ear. So I understand what that's like. And yeah. Wow. All right, let's do another message from Spirit. I keep thinking about little ones with bad ears, and it's making me sad. Hi.
Hi, my name is Suzanne, and I'm from Ashley, Pennsylvania. It's
Hi,
lovely
Suzanne.
to see you, Sheena.
It's lovely to see you too. It's nice to see your beautiful face, sweetheart.
Oh, thank you.
What's your question, and how may I help you?
So my question today is, I have an adopted son who has an issue, a medical issue, and I've recently come up with the same exact issue. Would it be a good idea for us to move? Is it the environment causing the problem?
Is it okay to tell me what the issue is, or is it secret?
Well, it's hyperthyroidism.
Oh, okay, that's not a secret.
Yeah, he's got Graves' disease, and they're saying I'm subclinical and that I have nodules. So I'm wondering, since we're, not biologically related, if it's the environment that we're living in, if a move would be the best thing to do.
Well, I don't think that it's it's biological. I don't think that it's environmental. I think that this is you. Okay, so here's the thing. This guy said here, this sounds too crazy and too woo-woo. You're a super empath, and you're very connected to him. You don't have to be biologically related to be soul family.
Mm-hmm.
And you and your son are very connected on a soul level. It's so normal when you are soulmates with someone, a soulmate with someone, for you to develop something that they have developed, or they develop something that you have developed.
Okay.
And so I know that can be a bummer. I'll give you an example. My best friend and her dog are inseparable. And she and her dog over the last 5 years have had exactly the same weird health issues. One gets it, and then the other one gets it. Or the dog gets it, then she gets it. Or she gets it, then the dog gets it. So I think that your connection to your son, that bond, has formed this connective medical thing. But I would like you to take some, research supplements for thyroid balance.
Hmm.
And also for you, when was the last time you had your hormones checked?
Well, I haven't had them checked recently, and I actually asked the doctor, the endocrinologist, to do it, but she said I would have to ask someone else. So I did not.
What
I
isn't
I
that
thought
what an
that was
endocrinologist does? Is take your
exactly,
blood? Okay,
exactly.
so
Yeah.
it's not my business, but I'm asking: have you gone through menopause?
Yes.
Okay. Sometimes when you go through menopause and your body's not making enough estrogen, again, I'm not a doctor, people. One of the things that can happen is it can shoot your thyroid way up.
Okay.
So, and the highness the nodules can develop from the high thyroid. So just check your hormones, look at supplements. And they're saying something about the water. Are you not crazy about the water where you are?
No, the park that I live in actually has had water problems for the past 2 years where the underground pipes have been breaking. And so, yeah, I'm not very
Yeah.
happy about the situation because I
No.
don't know what we've been exposed to even through the water. That's
Yeah,
why I
they're
was wondering,
saying that
is it
water.
environmental? Yeah.
Can you get like a really good filter for your water?
Yeah, that's what I need to
Like
do.
the Brita filter of the damned that really like filters out everything
Yeah,
and makes your water less acidic
yeah,
for both of you.
right,
But I'm
right.
seeing that there's a supplement that you will find, a natural remedy, a homeopathic remedy that will help you both with the nodules.
Okay. Well, he doesn't have nodules, but he has the hyperthyroidism. So they're both
Oh,
hyper.
he has Graves, but he
He
doesn't
has
have
grapes. He
but
doesn't
not
have nodules. He was never found with
really.
nodules, but I was found with nodules. And I thought, maybe I'm supposed to learn something from this because
Yes.
I feel like the doctor had recommended he have either radioactive iodine treatment, and I was against that.
Yes,
And they
please.
said surgery. Now he was born with 2 holes in his heart and 2 holes in an eye, and like he has had severe medical issues. So for him to go under surgery and having Down syndrome and autism on top of it, he's not going to be able to voice to us, "Hey, I'm having a problem with my heart."
No,
You know
let's
what I
not do
mean?
that iodine therapy is scary. Let's not do that. He's on medication, right?
Yeah, he's on medication. I'm just waiting for them to get back to me.
Will you ask them to check his hormone levels too?
Yeah, I will.
Does he run low testosterone?
I don't know. He's never
All right.
been tested. Nobody ever tested. So I don't
Okay.
know.
Please do that. Try those things and then let me know.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
Are you okay? Are you feeling all right? I'm worried that
Yeah.
you're sad about this. It's going to be okay.
Well, I'm just feeling like I have a lesson that I'm supposed to learn through all this. I just wish I you know what I mean? You
Well,
wish you
don't panic.
understood everything.
Sure.
And I'm like, should I move? Like, am I supposed to move? So I've been
Right.
sitting here like just trying to figure out, okay, what am I supposed to do?
Well, the first lesson is don't panic. Don't panic. Everything's going to be okay and you got this. The second lesson is let's find out what's causing it. And like I said, I would like you just to switch the water in general.
Mhm.
But I don't see that you're like near a nuclear power plant or something that's causing it. But I would like to see you get to more alkaline water. And then also, and I'm showing just a really good filter. If you just drink from a pitcher of filtered water, it will be better. And then the last thing is I want you to have his hormones checked and also his electrolytes.
Mhm.
Check his sodium, phosphates, potassium, and magnesium, and you too.
Okay.
Hormones and that. So you both need a blood panel. That would make me very happy. And then also, when we get done today, start researching natural homeopathic recipes, remedies for hyperthyroidism.
Okay. I
Okay,
will do
that's
that.
what Spirit's
Yes.
showing me. Everything's going to
Right.
be okay, sweetheart. But I would not submit him to surgery unless you have to. And I certainly wouldn't. I would not have that iodine treatment. The surgery will be easier.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
wouldn't even do the iodine treatment with my cat when he had hyperthyroid. I'm like, no.
Right. Okay.
It's
All
going to
right.
be okay, sweetheart. Everything's going to be all right, okay?
All right. Well, thank you so much.
You bet, honey. Take care of you.
You
Let's
too.
all say some prayers if you're watching for Suzanne and for her son, because it's hard to be a baby and be scared and be a mama and have a baby. I had my first surgery when I was 18 months. And my mom said that the most panic she ever felt in her life was when they took me past the place where she could no longer go. So they had me in this little like playpen, but it was like a stretcher, but it was a playpen because I was 18 months, and they were pushing me and she was walking with me and she was making me laugh and I was laughing, and everything was okay and everything was good and everybody was happy, and then all of a sudden they pushed me past these doors and she had to stop. And she said, I realized that she wasn't going to be able to follow me. And I got this look in my eye like, oh, what's happening? And that was the most terrified she ever was. So I think maybe unless you're a mom, you don't know what it's like, the thought of having to do that to a kid, especially a kid that has special needs. So yeah, it's hard. Yeah, it's really hard. All right. Yeah, that makes me so sad. But like I said, my cat had hypothyroidism and he had 2 surgeries to remove nodules on both. They took both of the thyroids out. So he only had his parathyroid and he didn't even need medication after that. And they said, oh, maybe he'll live 6 months, and he was 10 and he lived to be 17. So he's fine, which is old, pretty old for a cat, pretty normal old. It's like a person living into their 80s. So, that they wanted to do this thing where they had to take him to a facility and he had to be locked in there with the iodine for a week. And I'm like, he's going to be panicked. I'm not doing that. That's not good. No, let's not do that to a child, or a furry child. They're all children, right? All right, let's do another message from Spirit. Hi.
Hi, Sheena. This is Karen from Gold Bar, Washington State.
Hi, Karen. And I see beautiful Washington State behind you on the camera.
We got our first snow last night.
Oh, I love that. We had rain today. I'm always just here in purple space, so you can't really see where I am outdoors. But maybe someday I'll do it from my backyard so you can see all my California cactus and succulents in the background. It looks beautiful where you are.
It is. It is.
What's your question for me, sweetie?
Well, oddly enough, I'm moving in 6 months.
Oh,
yes.
okay. After I just bragged about how beautiful it was.
Well, I hope to be someplace just as beautiful. I just don't know what state am I going to be in. Will I be in Washington State, or will I be going south into a new state?
You mean like Oregon or California south?
Oregon.
I think Oregon is kind of where you want to be, huh?
Oh, my daughter's moving to Oregon. That would be one reason. Yep.
Yeah, I see that Oregon is on your mind a lot, but I see you staying in Washington. A different part of Washington. Are you doing a job move? Is that what's happening?
No, just upgrading to bigger and better and beautiful. So I inherited some money, and now I want to.
We like that.
I would like to parlay that into a bigger farm and beautiful area and more people.
I see you staying in Washington. I see you going a little bit more rural.
Exactly.
Is that the plan?
That is a plan.
Less people, more trees.
Exactly. Yes. Farm. I'm wanting to do a center for healing because I'm a Reiki master. So I'd like to manifest into its own culture, hopefully.
I love that. Are you going to go more east?
I have no direction.
Literally. Okay, I see you going more east, more eastern Washington.
Okay.
Not like Idaho, not that far, but in a little bit from the coast.
Yeah.
So it almost has sort of like a Midwestern feel almost.
Country is my theme, yes.
Okay. I love the healing center. We're all about that. And definitely a less expensive area because it's more rural and more east. where you can get more bang for your buck, more property.
Perfect.
It's a big property. Are you going to build a bunch of buildings on it, like dorms and places for people, to cabins?
Yep, we currently host an Airbnb, and we want to expand and make that the healing center with yoga and Reiki and massage, and
Nice.
make it a big thing. Yeah.
I'll come up and teach. You didn't invite me, but I just invited myself.
You're hired.
I'll put the cat in the car and we'll come up and teach.
Perfect.
He will teach love, and I'll teach whatever you want me to teach.
Oh, sounds wonderful. I look forward to it.
Yeah, yes, definitely. Plan a little more east. And like I said, it almost has like a Midwestern farm feel. If you'll know what that is when you see it.
Great.
I'm sorry I don't see you going to Oregon.
Well, that's okay.
But I don't see you that far from your daughter. You may be going a little southeast, because I don't see you so far from her that it becomes a problem. Does that make sense?
Yeah, she'll actually be closer to me when she moves to Oregon.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. There's something about you in Washington. I just feel like you need to stay there. There's a love affair.
Well, I am in a love affair, so I hope that continues in Washington.
No. I meant a love affair with Washington. Yes, no, that's fine. That is going to tear, and that's all good. Relationship's good. But I mean, there's a love affair between you and Washington.
It is. I'm from California, and this is a surprise to me.
Oh, nice. Okay, beautiful. Yeah. But something's happening with California too. Not right now, but I see there's a possibility at some point you will have another center or something going on here for healing, like around where Napa is. I
know Napa very well.
Like, I don't know what we call that. Central, almost northern. It's between central and northern, and a little in from the coast.
Yep.
Keep that on your radar too. I don't know what that's about, but they keep screaming that at me.
I'm expanding. I'm already there.
All right. I love that already. The cat and I will come there too. All right, sweetie. You take care of you.
Thank you.
You bet. I just used my own show to invite myself to somebody's healing center. Oh, I'll come teach. Well, no, it just seems so beautiful. I just wanted to go. And if I'm working, then I have an excuse to go. Yeah, wow. Yeah, there's such a connection with her. You know, I think about leaving Southern California. Sometimes I think, yeah, I could move to Ireland. I could go back to New England. I could go to upstate New York, where my mom grew up the second half of her childhood. Or I could go to Kentucky, where she was born, in Louisville, and live on the Ohio. And then, but there is a love affair here between me and Southern California, and me and this Pacific Ocean. For a girl who grew up on the Atlantic, I am such a Pacific Ocean girl. And every time I think about leaving, I think to myself, who are you kidding? You're never leaving Southern California. You can't quit us. The Pacific Ocean and California. Yeah, it's not happening. Okay. Let's do another message from Spirit. What great calls today. And everybody video calls. Everybody having such exciting stuff coming. New love, son being healed, kids being healed of their ear stuff, opening a healing center. It's like the whole thing is healing. It's really beautiful. Totally beautiful. Okay. All right. We're good. Let's do another message from Spirit. I'm excited. Hi.
Ooh. Hi, Sheena. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. And listening to your show and all this great messages from Spirit that you have. Honest to goodness, I'm like, my question is so unimportant.
No, it's not at all. Tell me your name and where you're from.
I'm Joy. I'm from Lincoln University, Pennsylvania, on a farm.
Beautiful. On a farm too. Another farm. It's a farm show.
So something's been going on. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said, I'm sure your question is fantastic compared to everyone else's.
I don't know. They were pretty fantastic, I got to tell you. They were really good. Okay, so some things have been going on around the house with the lights blinking in the refrigerator. And,
okay, nice.
And I get on my Spirit box radio that I use that my grandfather's in the house, my gramps.
Okay.
Don him in the house. I don't know. Is he? Does he have a message?
Oh yeah, but you got a lot of people in your house.
I thought so.
Yeah, he's definitely in your house. More to protect you, and not protect is probably not the right word because that sounds very cryptic, Joy Marie. But to kind of be a buffer between you and the crazy streets of Manhattan, crowded stuff that's in there. Like so many energies in there roaming around all the time. He's sort of appointed himself the traffic cop to make sure that everybody is behaving. Does that make sense? To protect you from
Yes, ma'am. It surely does.
Yeah, and it's not like there's something in there that's like, get out. I mean, it's not like that. But he's worried that they're going to keep you so you don't sleep, that you're going to be too busy in the head. He's just worried they're going to keep you distracted from your life. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am, it sure does.
That you're going to go down a rabbit hole with all the activity, and then you're not going to get done the things in your life you have to do.
That's right.
So he's here to kind of protect you from that involvement. Is that a good way to say it?
Yes, it sure does. And it went along with your first message of be responsible for you. Like, come on, Joy, don't just sit around here with your crystals and meditating. Get outside while you can before winter's here. Yeah.
Because remember this, Joy Marie, remember this. Ghosts, spirits of the dead, and sometimes of, non-incarnate beings, they have nothing in their life. Like sometimes they're bored. They should be at home, working for the universe, but for whatever reason they drift and they keep coming here, the ones that come here all the time. And they got nothing to do but hang out with you. And like you got stuff you got to get done because bills got to get paid and you got to walk your life path and walk your spirit path. And they're just like, like the hitchhikers from the Haunted Mansion, right? They're just killing time. So sometimes people can get very distracted. I remember this episode of one of the paranormal TV shows, maybe in the early 2000s, where they went to this woman's house and the dishes were stacked up and the house hadn't been cleaned. And this woman literally had a small moving box, maybe a medium moving box size box of these little tiny digital tapes that she was just sitting in her kitchen all day long getting EVPs.
Oh.
Let me tell you, it's like doing the Ouija board, right? As long as you're putting that out there, they'll keep coming because they got nothing to do.
Yeah.
But do you have the time to just get that involved with something that isn't really part of your path? I mean, even now I work in this world. I don't spend a lot of time sitting around shooting the poop with ghosts because I don't have the time to or the distraction. It's like having 50 pen pals that are constantly writing back saying nothing to do. You know what I mean?
Hard to understand one sometimes.
Yeah. So it's I understand it's intriguing and it's neat, but I think that really the message that's coming in from the spirits that take care of you, from your team, is they're trying to get you to the point where you just sort of release that a little bit.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And I'm going to listen to what you say and do that. And thank you.
All right. You're the best, my friend. Take care.
Thank you. You're the bomb, Sheena Metal.
Thank you, Joy. Appreciate you very much. Thanks, Joy Marie. Right. You guys don't get sucked into the spirits because the spirits are like, do you want to play? 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 No, I can't play. Like last night I was trying to get something done. Oh my God. I was trying to, if you go to my website, sheenametalspiritual.com, you'll see that I have a virtual store and I'm adding a bunch of new items to the store. So I ordered a ton of stuff online, but the problem with ordering stuff online is sometimes they come and they're like beautiful. Sometimes the stuff comes and you're like, really? And you got to send it back. So I'm sorting through the crystals and the sage bundles and the Palo Santo and the bracelets and all the things I sell in my store and all the new things I'm going to sell to see if it's good stuff or if it needs to be returned and I need to buy it from somebody else. Well, what I have is a giant bag full of a bunch of little bags full of tiny little things. And my cat, he lost his mind and he got so hyperactive, and he's not really a hyperactive cat. He got so hyper thinking about all these little things in little bags that he just kept like jumping up on me, and then he would jump up here, and then he would give me a hug, and then he would give me a kiss, and then he'd jump down, and then 3 minutes later he's back, and then 2 minutes later, I mean, it went on for hours. And I was so frustrated, and I feel bad. I never want to be frustrated with him because I love him so much. But really, and it just kept happening and happening and happening, and he just got more and more excited. I think that's how spirits are. They're so bored, and then they find a vibrant soul like Joy Marie that wants to talk to them, and they're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, we're going to keep coming with more questions. Ooh, I'm haunting. Ooh, I'm turning the water on. Ooh, I'm slamming the door. I mean, look at anything to get attention because they're just so excited that somebody finally sees them. So that's a thing, right? So anyway, something to think about, my friends. It's so important that you don't give all your time to the dead, and you've got to give some time to the living. All right. Who's got a message from spirit? Wants a message from spirit? Wants a message from spirit from me? Hi.
Hi, Sheena. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? What's your name and where are you from?
I am Dana Olita. I'm here in LA, like you.
Beautiful. Like me. Beautiful. What's your question, sweetheart?
So let me preface by saying, if anything comes out of like the blue, like really bizarre, let me know, because I had multiple questions I could have asked.
Okay.
But the question I'm going to ask is, I am a writer, and I have been working for years trying to get projects made and funded. I have a lot of projects. Like I write in a really weird way, unlike anybody else, I think. And I have a lot of stuff that I'm out there trying to get made, and also like 50 projects I'm trying to make. And, you know, I guess part of me just wants to know, am I ever going to be successful, or should I just give this up? I mean, I didn't start until late in life doing it, but.
Why would you give it up? It's such a huge chunk of your soul. Give it up and do what? Yes. You'd be miserable.
I just feel like if I can't be successful at it.
Well, but I think you need to do it, and not because you're thinking about being successful. I think if you shift that expectation, you're going to find a lot more energy comes in surrounding it.
Okay.
You're not writing to be successful. You're writing because you're a writer and you can't not write.
It's true, because the way that I write, which is so weird, is I have to dream everything. Then I have to write it the next day. And if I don't write it down, the dream usually comes back.
That's so funny, because when you said I write in a really weird way, I almost said, what are you, like in a trance? But I didn't want to interrupt you. But you are kind of in a trance.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're getting downloads from spirit in your sleep, sweetheart. I mean, if you walk away from that, that's not going to make spirit happy. You just have to trust, and you have to take off of you all the three-dimensional human expectations of, when am I going to be successful? When's the money going to come? When am I going to be famous? And start realizing that you're a channeler, and you're channeling stories from spirit to give to the world, and decide that you're going to release and surrender and let spirit take over the timeline of what's going to happen to these projects. And then
I'm totally empathic, and I can write in anybody's character as long as I can dream through that character.
Sure. Yeah. You just got to let it happen, sweetie. You have to start working with spirit and not against spirit. Now, you do a great job of working with spirit to download the art, but about what happens with it, and the success and the money and the fame, you have to leave it in spirit's hands and let them bring it to you in the right time, and stop putting all this energy into when. Does that make sense?
It does, but it's frustrating.
I know. Sure it is. Of course it is. Yeah. We all want it yesterday. Of course it's frustrating. But you just have, that's part of the trusting part, right? You just got to trust, sweetheart. It's all about trusting.
Okay.
Will you do that for me?
I will work on trusting.
All right. Keep dreaming those good stories. I'm excited for you.
Thanks. Have a good one.
You too, honey. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah. It's all about trust. So many things in this world are about trust, and surrender. And surrender's so hard for people. We don't do surrender well as human beings. We are not good with surrender. But yeah, surrender. All right, you guys are Awesome. And I'm so enjoying this. If you want to be a guest on this show, send me a text message, 818-437-0886. Or if you're on WhatsApp, my country code is 1. So 1-818-437-0886. And always visit my website, sheenametalspiritual.com, to find my store and how you can book a private session with me and learn more about me and where are my radio shows and where are my TV shows and how can you find me and all kinds of fun stuff. All right, let's do a message from Spirit. Hi.
Hi, I'm Patrice Cronwick, and I'm from Wheaton, Illinois. I'm not from a farm. I'm from the city. Anywho,
lots of farm
so,
people today, right? Farm
yeah,
people.
they had great stuff.
Awesome.
I'm just asking about my kids. I'm worried about them. My son, he's having trouble with jobs. My daughter, she's not talking. Is it going to work out for us?
It's going to be fine, sweetie. Everything's going to be okay. They're just both going through a rough patch, a bump in the road, right?
Yeah. I just worry about him, especially my son. He tries hard and it's not succeeding, I'm just waiting for something to kick in with him.
He's trying so hard to be somebody he's not and being so resistant to accept who he is. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does. You hit the nail on the head.
When he finally stops and takes a breath and realizes what an absolute miracle he is, things are going to be so much easier for him.
Yeah, I sure as heck hope so. I just, as a mom, you always want your kids to have the best, to be successful. And, we help them out. And it's just, like the paddles aren't going anywhere on his boat.
Yes. Well, he's pushing away who he is because he's trying to be somebody he's not.
Right.
He's like, he thinks who he is isn't good enough. But the truth is, who he is so wonderful.
Yes. I mean, he's so kind to me and stuff. He has his moments like any kid, but I mean, in general, he'll come up to me out of the blue and give me a hug, that sort of thing. He's just
he's a good kid.
Such a good kid,
Yeah, I agree. He's beautiful. He needs to understand that those beautiful and soft things about him are what make him magic.
Right.
Patrice,
right.
These are not bad things.
No.
These are beautiful things. But he just sees other kids and he thinks, oh, I should be like that, or I should be like this one, or I should be like this one. But he needs to just be exactly who he is, and then everything in his life will fall in place.
Right.
Whether it's job stuff or friend stuff or relationship stuff or what he's going to do with the rest of his life. But he's never going to find those things if he keeps pretending to be somebody he's not, or trying to, or just being generally disgruntled with who he is.
Yeah. That's good. Because I'm always trying to give him encouraging words, and, this was good. I mean, you've given me some thought there.
Yes. Yeah. And your daughter just feels like she's a little stubborn.
Oh, yeah.
Like she kind of flips the bird at her life sometimes. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
She's like oppositionally defiant.
Oh, yeah.
And so when she realizes, like my mom had this expression, put your fist down. When she puts her fist down and realizes she doesn't have to fight everything in her life anymore, things will get so much better and easier for her.
It's good.
Does that make sense?
Yes. It's very, that actually describes her. She's always ready for a fight, ready to take someone out.
Yep. She is. Put your fist down. Yep. It's true. I admire her feisty spirit, but sometimes this is only hurting her.
Right, right. You know, she's got to start listening to other people once in a while too. They're not out to get her.
Right. Everybody's not out to ruin her life. She needs
Right.
to know that. You know, does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
All
Yes,
right,
it does. Thank you so
you take
much.
care
You
of you.
are the
Everything's going to be
bomb.
okay. My pleasure, honey. Everything's going to
Yeah.
be okay with these kids. Just believe.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you bet, hon. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Great people today, right? Come and be a guest on this show. 818-437-0886. WhatsApp, if you're out of the United States, 1-818-437-0886. And come and find me all over social media. I'm just at Sheena Metal on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok, on X, formerly Twitter. I'm excited to see you all everywhere. I would completely love that. And then, of course, my website, sheenametalspiritual.com. Please check that out. And we're here every Tuesday at 2 o'clock Pacific time. I'm delivering messages from spirit to real people, doing my real psychic thing, and hopefully getting some real answers and some real healing for folks, which I think we got today. Until I see you next week, seek peace, live in love, lead with kindness, embrace unity, always work to raise your vibration, and know most importantly that you are love and you are loved and you're so loved by me. Absolutely 100% forever and ever and ever and ever loved by me. I think you are all wonderful and miraculous people. And remember that you have gifts and you have something to give. We all have gifts. We all have something to give. We're all here for a purpose. God has not abandoned you or left you behind. Everybody just has to find out what their purpose is. And when you learn what your purpose is and you learn how to run with that, you will be so much happier. But look at the messages that we learned today from people who came in with questions, right? You have to love yourself before you're going to be loved. Two people that are so close, even if they're not biologically related, can develop similar health problems because they're so close to each other. And it can be a person and a dog, right? When you are making beautiful art or something for the world, don't worry about fame and money and success. Those things will all come to you. Worry about the responsibility of being a channeler who's channeling for spirit. Don't spend too much time messing around with the dead. There's too much of the living that wants to be a part of what you're a part of. These are all things that are so important. And these are some of the messages that I receive and that I'm giving to you and that we got from wonderful people who called in today. And what a great day it was for that. Until I see you next time, think of a question you'd like to ask me right here on this show. And then send me a text message, 818-437-0886. Thanks to my wonderful engineer and producer, Emery, my right-hand man. I couldn't do it without him. And thanks, of course, to the beautiful Tony Sweet, who owns PARAPOD TV and also her sister radio stations, UBN Go and LGBTQI Go. And, of course, the PARAPOD Festival is also the genius of Tony Sweet. I spoke there last year, and I'm looking forward to being a part of it again this year in beautiful Santa Clarita, California. I love you all very much. Thank you for joining me here every week. Please come back next week. And if you go to sheenametalspiritual.com, or PARAPOD TV on your streaming apps, you can find all of the past episodes of this and enjoy them and watch. I'm Sheena. I'll see you next time. This is Messages from Spirit, only on PARAPOD TV. Have a great week.
Mm-hmm.